Dick Hi-Fi here. Another episode for you. We're going to putting together the ASR and the MPC2000, specifically the 2000 because that's the one I got. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to work with these together? You got this one, you got that one. Be happy working with each one. Well, they have different strengths, right? They each do something beautifully and maybe not too much on the other side. With the ASR, it's about the sound and the ability to edit samples. It just makes a wonderful sound when you get in this thing and really get into all the other parameters that you can edit. You can do a lot with it. The MPC, super fun. It's got a sequencer that is absolutely rock solid, super fun to work with. Fun to bang on the pedals, you know, beating away on this thing. It also has a nice sound too, but putting the two together really makes a machine that, you know, it's a special thing. It's really fun to do too. It's definitely a fun thing. So here we go. I'm gonna teach you how to put it together. There's three aspects. There's a physical hookup, there's the settings, and then there's the interaction between the machines. The physical hookup is the MIDI. So you know what a MIDI cable is? You got to learn about that. MIDI cable looks like this. It's like a, what is it, a 5-pin cable, right? Yeah. And you need that. It's not just like a 1/4-inch cable or anything. But you're going to put the in from the ASR to the out of the MPC. And then you're going to put the out of the ASR to the in of the MPC. Both ways. They're going to be communicating both ways. So it's going to get wild. That's the way you got to hook it up. So, all right, let's get into it. The next element that we have to make sure we're doing is the settings that we have them in. So first we're gonna do the ASR. Now we're gonna go to Edit, MIDI. Let's touch around in here. Doopy doop boop boop. So, and it says MIDI in mode. You want to be on multi, right? If you go through the scroll, you're going to see mono B, mono A, multi, poly, omni. You want to be in multi. That's the mode you want. All of the other ones have their own advantages and specific uses for things. This is what we're doing. We're specifically hooking up with the MPC. So that's what we want to be in. The next thing you want to go to is to look at your bass channel. Bass channel pressure key, that's fine. Transmit. So it says transmit on. Remember, we're an edit MIDI system. So transmit bass channel. Stay on bass channel. It says instrument channel or bass channel. We want to be on bass channel. That's what you want to be on. Next over, it says MIDI bass channel. It goes from 1 to 16. Make sure it is on 1. 1, 1, 1. That's what you want to be on. These are the settings you need on the ASR to work correctly. Now, we're going to edit go edit track right here. When you edit track and go from instrument to instrument or channel to channel, or rather track to track, you should see the corresponding name of the selected instrument that you're on. So I'm on channel 8. It says multi-in MIDI channel 8. So when I go to 7, on 7. That needs to be looking like that or else something is wrong. Those are the settings for the ASR. Now the settings in the MPC, it's really about being in the main screen sequence page here. So let's go down here. This is how it looks like when you turn on. It has the track number, which is fine. We're going to be, you know, it's an empty sequence, 90 BPM. This is the first track we're going to be recording. So this is blank right now. Right here where it says drum and off, what we are going to do is I'm going to go to channel, instrument there. I'm going to go to channel 8 here. Right? No, that's not where I want to be. Yeah, there we go. The drums. So yeah, channel 8. So if I go up, you're going to see 1A. 1A corresponds to the input there, being 1A. If it was 1B, it would be the second input there. The Akai, the MPC has multiple inputs. It can be dealing with two machines at once. So 1A is what we want to be in. If you're in 1, you got to correspond to it. Now the number 1 is corresponding with the track number on here. So we're going to go up to 8. This is now communicating with this track right here. So you'll see, right? So this is on the ASR. This sound is on the ASR. But since we have it hooked up like this, now we're controlling it from right here. There's a certain way that the pads and the keyboards line up that control each other in its own array. I'm going to show you how that works in a minute, or at least a little display of that chart. So this is where we're at, right? So if we want to put this on, say, track 1, the drums, so now we can record that. Have it just like that, set up just like that. Do one more thing here before we get into that. Hit open window. You close that again. Make sure you have this part highlighted over here, 8A, in the drum section. Open this up and make sure that you look like this. Look at the screen and match all that. It should be like that. It's nothing I never edited to it. It's just how it can. But make sure you're like that. Things can get tricky if you're one little simple setting there could throw you off, and you go, I don't know, it doesn't work anymore. But that's the settings you need. So controlling that instrument from right here. So we're gonna do a quick little thing. I'm gonna got the timing on to help me out. Super jacked up. I can't hear the click track that good. All right, good. So, as you see, and I'm playing here. Now, I can actually put this in other sounds. Because I am in 8A, I'm controlling it from here, even though I'm on a different sound. So actually, so it's controlling this other instrument since we have it on 8A, but we have gone to another instrument on the ASR and able to play with it like that. Now, recording those, you need to go into a separate track and make sure we go on to 6A. So we're going to go to track 2, right, and we want to go to 6A. So it's controlled here as well, but the other feature, which is nice, is that you can control it and record it from the ASR, even though the sequence is holding the sequence over here on the MPC. The MPC is the brains of the operation, and it's using the instruments from the ASR. But you can access it from the keyboard. So if we are going to record this, it goes. So now, even though you played it from the ASR, it's recording into this. That's how the MIDI works. That's where the in and out, back and forth communication they're having. You can also have a sound that's in the MPC. It's not in the ASR. So I do have a sound in there. So we're going to go to track 3, right? And it's just going to be in the drum off position. So that's a sound that I have in the MPC. So if we want to record that, we just leave it in the drum off position. It's using the internal drums, the program that's set up here. So we want to, I'm going to play with this for a minute, figure out what I want to put on it. So, if just for an example, we want to do that. I don't like the way that sounds, but this is how it goes. That's pretty horrible. So, if you want to edit this sound, you would just do it the normal way you would. So if we want different tuning, MIDI is just controlling the back and forth communication between the two and recording. Now, one thing that can get pretty confusing is that the instruments are going back and forth. Once you get a lot of sounds in here, it can get a little overwhelming because they're both controlling each other. So try to keep track of where you have the things, of where you have all the instruments laid out, be it on the ASR or be it on the MPC. You'll notice this is an MPC sound, but there it is somewhere. There it is right there. You see that it's on here as well. Along with playing its own sound, it's playing this sound under it. So keep track of all the instruments you have. It can get pretty confusing. As far as the settings that you put on the ASR, so that you don't have to set it up every time, you're gonna do a little command here. You're gonna save the global parameters. It'll put it right on the disk. So make sure your OS disk is on. You hit Command, System, Save global parameters. So everything that has to do with a sequence or an instrument, things that are contingent to how the whole OS is working in the bank, like pitch bend or just the settings that you have, that's all going to save. So however you have it set on your machine, that's how it's going to save it to your OS. So you put your OS in, and when it loads the OS, those parameters are going to be right up. So if you want that MIDI link there, you can put it up. Now, if you have other MIDI schemes that you need for different applications, say you're not using this machine, you're using a different synth or something else, you could take a different OS disk and save your global parameters to that. So when you load that up, you're ready to go with that. You don't have to toggle all the settings and spend time and put stuff into that setting. And just make sure you label everything wisely, because you have two different machines who are saving stuff on. You have sequence saved here. You have one sound saved here. I have sound saved here. Now they're supposed to go all together. They're supposed to play together. So you want to kind of name them the same thing. Name them the same exact bank or something, or the sequencer or whatever. Associate words so that when you look around in the respective machine that you're in, you know what to look for. So if I named that say I named that sequence King Kong, I would make sure that I loaded up my bank and saved it King Kong. So you know that these things go together. When you look around, you know you won't be as lost. All right, now, as I was talking about this, you know, it's a little confusing because you got a lot of sounds going on. You got the sounds in the ASR, you got the sounds in the MPC. They're going all over the place. There's communication back and forth. They can each play each other. So what you need to do is get a little chart going, something like this, where you have like a full layout of the pads corresponding to all of the keys. We're going to get you a little PDF in the description there that you can download. Or you can make your own, which is not a bad idea to practice and make your own little thing. You learn, you know, there's nothing like doing it yourself. It's for you to learn it the right way. All right, moving on to the next one. So as you're saving the instruments, as you're saving the sequences, as you're saving all the stuff, the banks that is related to one another, stay as organized as possible. You're going to be a lot more successful with this if you give it good names. If you got anything, say you're making one beat or one project, name anything with that, put that in the name some kind of way. Say we named it King Kong. I'm going to name King Kong drums, King Kong bass, and I'm going to call King Kong sequence number 1. You know, put all the things together because you have it stored on different media, right? Just because you're using MIDI and working these things together, using these things together, doesn't mean that you're going to take everything and save it over here. The sounds belong to the ASR. They're just being controlled over here. The sequence, the ASR don't know nothing about what it's doing with the sequence. It doesn't remember it. It doesn't have a memory. We're recording the brains over here with the sequence and the sounds over here. So save your sounds, save your bank, save all the pertinent information that you have in here to the thing. Keep it organized. Take all the information on the MPC, keep that, save that, keep it organized. Try to just label it, and you'll be fine with it. It's not hard. You know, these are just the basics that we started out how to put it together. It takes practice, you know, and there's also just ghost things that happen. Sometimes things happen. My program sometimes gets knocked out I thought I was using the program, and all of a sudden it comes out and it's in a different program, or you don't hear any sound at all. You got to go and put it back manually in the program. Things happen. You got to practice at it. You got to get experience at it. Stuff that you have to learn, you know, on your own. Just have patience with it. It's easy to have patience because it's so fun to do. Like when you get the sounds coming off of the ASR, but you're beating them on this. One of the things that I always struggled with the ASR was taking a drum kit that I would make and edit into a drum kit, and just I never liked beating on keys, you know. And when I was able to take that and you know, use the MIDI function to beat over here and get the beautiful sound off of this and take advantage of the effects, it was great, you know. Off to the races with it. So, you know, if you get stuck or whatever, it's complicated. It takes a minute. You got to keep it organized. It's a lot going on. You can get easily befuddled. Leave the comment if you have a question or whatever, and I'll try to help you if I can. I'm not a master at this, but I know a little bit about putting them together. So MIDI's like its own language. I don't go that deep with it, but we can make these things work out. So, you know, enjoy that, man. You're off to the races now if you got these things together. So get them going. Yeah.